Today being Mother's Day, I know that there's a lot of people out there who are struggling. And I wanted to take this opportunity to build some kindness and create a bridge to healing. So I'm actually addressing not just the estranged adult children, but I also want to address and welcome estranged adult parents. And before you unfollow me and hate me and throw shade at me, I would like you to bear with me for just one moment. I am not referring to the parents who intentionally abuse their children and then continued that cycle of abuse into their adulthood. I am not talking about the parents who are narcissistic, that are estranged at all. They are not safe or allowed within this community. So, you know, the parents out there that are trashing their adult children, and instead of putting cover over them and protection over them, they're talking about what horrible children they were, or they're stalking them, or they're, diminishing what emotional abuse is with words like drama. Those are not the estranged parents that I'm talking to. Those estrangements need to be in place for the safety and healing of their adult children. Okay, so I want to be very, very clear with that. Those estrangements will also be a lifelong lasting because those parents are the ones who can't see or choose not to see whatever you want to say, their part to play in that situation. And yes, as parents, like it or not, we create the foundation for the relationship we do or do not have with our children in adulthood. I am addressing the estranged adult parents who pass down trauma. I was one of them. I'm also an estranged adult child of over 30 years. And I see this thing that's happening where we are falling into two very extreme camps. And that's not healthy. That isn't bringing about healing for all. It's bringing about healing for some. So while I recognize as an estranged adult child of over 30 years, this has been really healing for me to be able to talk about my experiences and how I've healed from the abuse created and caused by my sociopath narcissist mother, literally sociopath narcissist mother. I also want to make it known that I was an estranged parent, and because I passed down trauma due to the abuse that I went through, I had estrangements with particularly my eldest child. And fortunately for me, I went through therapy. And fortunately for me, she gave me enough grace to be able to repair our relationship. It was my job to do better right from the very beginning because she didn't ask to be brought into this world. My children didn't ask to be here. It was my job to be a healthier person. It was my job to go to therapy. It was my job not to end up in a marriage that was violent when I was quite young. Not my big marriage where it was 15 years and he's great and he was not violent. He's a good dad. Okay, so let's be clear there. But it was my job to do better because I was the adult in the room. So when I say that it's our job and we are the ones accountable for where that relationship goes, that's what I mean by that. Sadly, when you're raised in a narcissistic family system, oftentimes you marry the love that you know. And when you marry the love you know, that means you married somebody who's likely abusive, who triangulated your children, and next thing you know, you're also estranged from them. Not all estrangement is created as a result of child abuse from that person. Not all estrangement is because that parent was the intentional, methodical abuser who refused to do anything better in adulthood. There are estrangements that fall into a middle zone that is caused through the passing down of trauma. And those estranged parents who are out there that fall into that category are being silenced. They're not being given the space to express what their journey is like and what they're hoping they can work on. And when they do come out and they say something like, I'm really not sure what I did, they get attacked by the estranged adult children community because our experience is, you know what you did. But just because that's my experience, because my mother knows what she did, doesn't mean that it's everybody's experience. And I want to see us come together and not be so absolute in the way that we communicate certain things. Because if there's an opportunity to help an estranged parent come around and understand in a safe community, we are the safe community over here, without judgment, what their adult child is looking for and needs, we might be able to facilitate more healing instead of, causing more division. I understand that when we see certain statements, they can be really, really triggering. Ask for clarification, ask for elaboration. Ask, okay, well, you really didn't know. So what is it you think happened, maybe? Create some dialogue. Let's create a safe community for estranged adult parents who are looking to repair their relationships to come to us for guidance. Because if we don't, guess where they're going? They're going into the communities where not only are they not getting the right sort of guidance, but they're being used as supply and they're being abused. And so, we're not doing what I think we're intending on doing here, which is creating healing for all, not just for some. So that's my little message or long message on Mother's Day. To ask everybody to be kind and to be thoughtful, and to speak, if you're going to do something, in absolutes from, well, this is my experience, instead of doing it in a way that can be accusatory and you might be causing harm that I know, absolutely do not intend. Much love to all of my estranged adult children out there, and to my estranged adult parents who pass down trauma, who are trying to do better. I wish that you were my parent, because if you were, that means we would have hope. I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Stay well on this holiday. And remember, it's just a date on the calendar. It really is. And we'll get through this together.